right, guys, welcome back to the Cole and Tabor podcast. Tabor, I cut you off. What were you about to say?
Nothing. I was going to ask if you could hear my neighbors upstairs.
Nope.
Okay, well, that's
we're good. Awesome. Okay, so we watched 3 movies this round. I remember they were all violent, and I can remember what 2 of them were, because I just watched one today, and it was Boy Kills World.
Nice.
Another one was
Abigail.
The Ministry. Oh, yes, Abigail. That's right. And then The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Yeah. Yeah, cool. So where do you want to start?
Abigail.
Was that the first one you watched?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, that was for me too. Overall impression?
Pretty good. I mean, I thought it was... Yeah, I thought Abigail was pretty good.
Nice.
Funny. Very, very, very gory.
Yeah.
What about you?
Same. I thought it was just like loads of fun. I think it was even more fun than the trailer let on that it would be. It was very entertaining. I didn't think it pulled off like a super satisfying story. Like there were pieces there for sure, but they really could have made something more out of the story, especially with the ending.
Yeah. I was frustrated in the beginning because I remember.
Sweet.
I was frustrated because they didn't tell you that she was a vampire soon enough.
Yeah.
Because they kept trying to.
Sorry, dude. Okay.
They kept trying to hide it. And like as the main thing in your trailer being like, I know they're not making it for the trailer, but I don't know. It just felt.
Yeah, buried the lead a little too much when literally everybody in the audience already knew what it was.
Yeah, like only the characters didn't know, and we could have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could have told them faster.
Totally. Yeah, you're gonna have a fun time editing my video.
Yeah, I'll just leave it in, man, because I didn't stop talking.
Cool. Yeah. No, agreed on all points. I think what they should have done was maybe get to the point a little quicker, and that would have like helped them like take advantage of the opportunity to tell a story. I feel like they lingered on the mystery a little too long, like you said, and then it was like just killing and craziness and weirdness and comedy for like an hour, and then they like tried to reinsert like a little bit of story that was really hard to care about.
Yeah. The crumbs are like the Abigail having like a bad relationship with her dad, and then her Joey having a kid.
Right.
And then really that's it. Like the evil dude, like he didn't. I mean, he was good at being evil. And he was pretty sympathetic at some points. Like he felt like just like a rough around the edges guy.
Right.
And then he was just like a true psychopath at the end.
That was a huge bother because, well, first of all, I was really happy to see Dan Stevens in anything because I love that guy. But it was really a bummer that they allowed his character to be like reachable, like to the audience, you know? And then out of nowhere, like the second he has the option, he's just a murderous, crazy person, like with no ounce of humanity left. It just didn't really work.
Yeah, that whole fuck it, let's do this. Like I thought he was joking. I was waiting for the moment that he was gonna stab him or something.
Same.
And he just didn't. And then he was the bad guy.
Yeah, that was not very well crafted.
I liked the other characters as well. Even though 2 of them we really didn't get the opportunity to see them all the way through.
Yeah.
Because they die, and that's what happens in horror movies.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny when they she's having that conversation, which I can't remember that guy's name, and then they're like, "We're gonna get out of this together. I've got you." And then he walks away and is just murked.
Yeah, the Marine guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I definitely thought that it, like, especially because they had that thing, you know, it was like Marine, Army, right? You know, they kind of like sniffed each other out. It really seemed like they were going to have more, I don't know, more conversation or more screen time together, or like more was going to happen between them. And then, yeah, he just walks around the corner and dies.
Yeah. The movie is like Abigail. It was fucking with you a lot, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of Abigail, that little girl was incredible. Like, crazy acting chops.
Yeah.
Honestly, like...
Crazy ballerina chops.
Oh, yeah, and she has to actually be a ballerina. Like, because you saw her face during those scenes. Yeah, crazy skilled. I think she actually... may have been the best actor in the movie. Maybe. Trying to think if there was anyone else that I liked better. Giancarlo Esposito has like a reputation, I think, as a really good actor. But
he's like a cameo, it feels like.
Exactly. There was really nothing to weigh it by in this movie.
Yeah, it's just so that we can watch him explode. Which the exploding body thing, they also did that in Ready or Not.
Oh.
But the way they just like nastily explode, it's so good.
Yeah, man. Didn't love that.
Didn't love it? You weren't into the gory gore?
I think it was fine as far as the gore goes, but it was lame as far as like a part of this world, like a detail of the world, especially since they were like batting down all other vampire tropes. They're like, oh no, like they don't, garlic doesn't work, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. It turns out the two things that do work, sunlight and wooden stakes, make them freaking explode. Like, if you're going for believable in some sense, which seems like what they were going for, since they're like, why would garlic work? That's silly, Yeah. Then, like, why would they explode? That's silly.
Do they explode in lore, or do they I thought they just burned up.
Well, yeah, sorry. They, normally, they would burn up, right? Like in other stories. But yeah, for one of the things, for this being their version of that, they went with like the most ridiculous way of doing it rather than something believable like they tried to do with the other things.
Yeah. But it's so good when she puts her hand in the light and it explodes and it scares the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
But yeah, I think for like context on the vampire, it seemed a little shut your brain offy a little bit too, where it was being loosey goosey and it didn't really care.
Yeah, it seemed like it was that way.
I liked also the line where, because he tries to take over the Joey, and then it doesn't work out, of course, and Abigail like comes back and she says, it takes thousands of years to learn the good shit or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was good. Also, it's like, it's always hard to figure out how to think of those characters that are like hundreds of years old, but they're actually just a little kid.
Yeah.
Because it's like, is some part of her developmentally still stuck in the kid thing? Or did her brain fully develop plus hundreds of years of experience? It's like, which is it? Is she a kid who's lived long enough to like be cynical, or is she an adult in a kid body?
It seems this movie, I think, it seems like it's an adult in a kid's body.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely, I could believe that.
I mean, she's super smart. She's quick. She's constantly manipulating everybody.
Mm-hmm.
She's also emotionally smart because
yeah,
she still does empathize with Joey not having the kid or not being around the kid. So yeah.
Yeah. No, hats off to Abigail. Smart cookie. Mm-hmm. It's also interesting that now that I think about it, it's weird that she was so like protective of her father's organization that she was like willing to do all that, but then she's so like detached from him and so like on the outs with him emotionally that then she's willing to like fight him for her friend. Like I don't know, is there do you think there was enough of an arc there, or is that just disjointed?
I think throughout the entire thing maybe not, but I mean ultimately they do set it up where, well, I'm trying to think. Because they have those conversations where she like reveals like those, like some lies, but also like the personal details.
Yeah.
So I like, and then at the end when she stands up to her father, like that's the completion of that arc. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's not a lot in between, or like the reminders maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point.
What do you think of the cast of guys, cast of characters?
I loved it. I thought they were all very well cast.
Mm-hmm.
Just like most of them were like perfectly clownish. The dude that was I can't remember, was he a getaway driver? What was he? The like really goofy dude. He's like riding around on the trike in the bar.
He was the driver.
that guy was like, I don't know where they dug that guy up, but he seems like he must be somewhat like that in real life because he was just too clownish. It was great.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then when his body being discovered and his head just falls over.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
I liked Peter a lot.
Which one was Peter?
Peter's the big buff guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, I liked all the stuff he does and how he almost sells them under the rock by opening the gate.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That whole scene where where it's all a big ruse because she can just blow it off the whole time.
Uh-huh.
I like that.
Yeah, that was fun. That's that like definitely leaned into her like psychopath aspect, and that's another thing that just makes me question her, like where she ended on her arc. Where I'm like, I don't know, you spend hundreds of years killing people for fun, well, because you were asked to, but for you find a way to make it fun. You spend hundreds of years reinforcing that. I don't think you're really capable of like connecting with human emotion after a certain point. So I liked that psychopath aspect of her character, but it didn't really mesh, I didn't think, with what came later on.
I don't know. I think she it seems like that stuff wasn't supposed to be taken too seriously. Like like in this movie, like the blood and the gore and the death and stuff. It's supposed to be silly, not serious.
For your entertainment. Yeah.
Exactly. So it seems more like a cartoon.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think about the well, we talked about what's his name's turn to becoming the bad guy. But what did you think about like the end of all that? Like the scene with him and Joey and Abigail, and then with the dad. Like, yeah, just the whole end fight and everything. What do you think?
It does feel like the turn makes the movie a little bit longer than it needs to be. Yeah. Like the dad could have just been an antagonist or something. But instead, yeah, we get his thing, and then that whole fight scene was pretty cool, pretty good. But I don't know. It just felt like it was tacked on. Not that it was tacked on, that it didn't really need. Like, it could have ended sooner in a different way.
Yeah, it wore on. Yeah. I would bet you that there was an original draft of this script where the dad returning to the mansion was like the final fight, you know, and that the dirty cop guy was probably like on the good side at the end. Like, I bet there was a version of it, and then they decided that they wanted to have him become the bad guy. And I think that's probably why they showed just enough humanity earlier in the movie to allow you to think that he could, you know, be reached. Yeah, and honestly, it probably would have been a more interesting fight to have this, like, another, like, ancient vampire dude join the mix. Yeah.
But ultimately, I still think it was pretty good. The fight itself was good. I don't know. I was never really taken out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I was a little bit. Like, honestly, probably from the point of the turn onward. I think it sort of changed lanes just enough to make me, like, question it.
Okay.
Is there more to say about Abigail?
More to say. I mean, I didn't realize it would be like as bloody as 3 movies as possible. It is crazy that we just watched 3 things that came out and they were all
totally
bloody and violent.
Yeah, they really were.
Like, if we added challengers into this, it'd be really different.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. And they were just different enough genres too that wasn't very easy to expect.
Honestly. Like, the violence in this one, I think, is completely ridiculous. Like, to the point where, like, some of it, like, the wounds and stuff don't matter. Like, it kind of impedes them, but it's not, like, the biggest factor in the world.
Right.
But also pretty, like, gruesome, because when Peter's just getting stabbed in the chest with that, like, small pin.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That whole scene was so funny and, like, crazy. What did she stab Dan Stevens with? In the leg or something?
I can't remember exactly.
Oh, did she... Oh, she stabbed Peter with the cross, right?
Yeah, that was around his neck.
Little pendant, yeah. And then...
That was to show that she doesn't mind religious imagery.
Yeah. Oh, and I think she stuck the cue stick in Dan Stevens' leg.
She broke it and stabbed him with it.
Yeah. It was just so great how perfectly they underestimated her and how she was just, like, ready to turn everything around on him. It was great.
And then they come back around the corner, they're all beaten up, and Joey's just sitting in the thing.
Yeah.
I also like after the girl gets bitten, we haven't really talked about her at all. Do you remember her name?
No, Ashley? I don't.
It's gonna kill me. I haven't remembered the other guy's name But I liked her turn. Well, in the whole lead up to it, where like she got bit, and then it's like, am I gonna?
Mm-hmm.
And then they constantly like she stands in the light, so you think she's okay.
Yeah.
And then no, it's just like a switch you turn on apparently.
Right. That was fun, and like when
Sammy.
she just started Sammy, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
When she starts like getting puppeted and everything,
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting because like I always like observing what different vampire lores do with the idea of familiars.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, yeah, it was like you can turn someone into a familiar by, basically just turning him into a vampire. And then you can, like you said, turn on the switch whenever you want, I guess.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And then like she was fully like she wasn't there anymore. She was just fully her puppet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then and she does the dance, and like I really like how they cut that and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a lot of fun.
And then she just explodes.
Yep.
Have you seen Ready or Not?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Okay, because they end very similarly with a woman drenched in blood.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I guess Scream kind of ends that way, too.
Oh, yeah, true that.
I guess
It's
it's
been a
just
long
their
time
thing.
since I've watched that one.
Yeah. Overall, I had fun.
Yeah, I'd say the same. 7 out of Gran Turismo.
7 out of Gran Turismo. I'd say about a Gran Turismo.
Cool.
What did you think of Boy Kills World?
I'm going to tell you first what I think of this.
Wait, never mind. I have a transition.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to drop Boy Kills World for now.
Okay.
So Peter, big burly guy,
Yep.
is almost the exact same archetype as Lassie. What is his name? Lassen.
Oh, yeah, Lassen. Yeah.
Lassen.
Yeah, totally.
They're like the same thing.
That's funny. They are. There's just a couple of tanks.
Yeah.
That's great.
And they're both really good with knives.
Okay. So that one next.
Yeah.
Cool. This is also the order I watched them in, so this is good. But I'm going to tell you first what I think about this lemon poppy seed muffin
Sponsored.
that I bought. It's way too lemony. This is not how lemon poppy seed stuff should be.
Dude, come on, man. We're getting paid.
Lemon poppy seed muffins by Rubicon. They suck.
Oh, fuck.
JK, it's probably great. I'm about to find out for real. That was just the smell.
Can you give it a rating, or do you need another bite? Do you need another bite? I think
it's like half a Gran Turismo.
Oh, really? That's pretty good for you.
Maybe it's like a quarter. No, it's all right. It's just it's a little too lemony. Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad. But movies.
Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Mm-hmm.
The League of is it the League?
It is the
Ministry.
What is it? Ministry, yeah.
Of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Yeah. Okay.
Directed by Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. You started with a character, so like characters.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the cast of characters in this movie?
Lawson is great.
Yeah.
I think they're all pretty good.
Yeah. Really fun characters.
Yeah. I mean, they're all really snappy. It's very Guy Ritchie dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty quick. And I feel like you get a good sense of what they are and what they bring to the table. You maybe don't get a good picture of them as people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this is probably just like efficient storytelling and maybe not the most rendered.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty fair.
What do you think of the characters?
Yeah, same. They're just really really fun, snappy characters. I mean the fact that all of them were like a hard and fast stereotype, but that wasn't a bother. You know what I mean? That it wasn't like I've seen this before. Like it was still so fun. That was pretty impressive, I thought.
In the intro where they get boarded by Nazis, and then he starts
Nazis.
Yeah, Nazi guys, Nazi sailors, and like and they're just like hamming up the scene and what is his name? The main dude.
Oh,
Superman.
Yeah, Gus March Phillips.
Yep. Henry Cavill. March Phillips. March, I think. And he starts laughing, and then the other guy starts laughing, and there's a little bit of tension. I think that's the one thing about this movie is I felt like there wasn't enough tension.
You never believed that the guys were vulnerable to anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like when they're raiding that base, like there's almost no. You're just there to watch them kill things.
Totally.
Yeah. And the fact that they all make it out alive, like that's like I wanted them to because they were that fun to be around. But the fact that they do and only one dude got shot in the arm, easily shot in the arm.
Yeah. Out of the 17 of them, including the what's his name's extra guys.
Yeah. It's crazy. I still had fun during it though.
Totally. Yeah, I saw it a second time because my sister wanted to go see it, so I took her, and it's just a roaring good time. Like you could probably watch it, like rewatch it like a dozen times, and it would never sour, partially because it is so simple and stereotypical, but you know, Guy Ritchie has a way of using certain stereotypes very, very well, to the point that like I almost consider them Guy Ritchie stereotypes more than anything else, like even though they existed before him. Yeah, just fun.
I agree. What are some of the scenes that stand out for you?
Freaking Lassen in the boat, like freaking just. I mean, he stabbed probably like 30 people to death with one arrow, and then he finds an axe, and then just starts, and you only get like a brief glimpse of him like going to town through the window. And it was like, it feels so weird because. So I went to work the next day, and my coworkers were like, "What did you think of it?" And I was like, "Well, it's tough because like the movie makes very light of butchering people just because they're World War II era Germans."
Yep.
But it does it pretty successfully.
Every
it's
single
hard.
one of them is evil.
Exactly. Yeah, you buy it while you're in the movie. You buy it that it doesn't matter if these people die. And that's kind of concerning, you know. I don't think we should necessarily desensitize ourselves entirely to stuff, but for the purposes of the movie, those scenes were like wicked fun.
Right. Got a little bit of Civil War on the brain.
Yeah, man.
It makes you think about who we're killing.
Sure does.
But yeah, the villain guy, just not the best. You don't really I guess you do see something, but his presence isn't as good as other. He's not the best Nazi I've seen in movies.
Okay. I felt pretty afraid of him.
Did you?
I think it might have worked better on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like there were some moments where he had like bravado, but Yeah, but ultimately, ugh, I hate reusing words. But it just didn't. It didn't feel like the scary that you get from like Inglorious Bastards or
Yeah,
or like a
Christoph
Chandler's
Waltz.
List,
Yeah, yeah.
or even like the desensitized like Zone of Interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
like,
you're right.
and I don't
Very
know.
true.
I guess it's more Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair comparison. Where it's like, this guy's bad. And,
That's all.
yeah. And you know the good guys are going to win anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
I got something.
Okay.
Do yourself a favor and never look the real story up on Wikipedia.
Because you're just
You
going to
will
tell
be
me about
so
it.
disappointed.
Yeah.
It is so, like, absolutely nothing happened. For Guy Ritchie, like, of all the things to say based on true events or whatever, this is the most disingenuous version of that I have ever seen in my life. And we've seen some bad ones.
What actually happened? Let me guess.
Okay, go for it.
They killed 2 Nazis.
You're very close.
Okay. And they did drive away with the ship.
Yes. Okay. Actually, that was very well done. To clarify those 2 points, they killed 0 Nazis.
Okay.
And 2 Nazis threw themselves overboard when their team boarded the boat at Fernando Po. So the guy where Henry Cavill's like, he sees like this 18-year-old kid and he's like, go ahead, tells him to like jump off.
Yeah.
Like that was a nod, I'm sure, to what really happened because they get on the boat with like 6 guys and there's only 2 people on board and they both bail overboard. Like that was the entirety of the opposition they faced. And yes, they did sail the ship away to Lagos, I think. And that was always the plan. There was never a plan to sink it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, there was explosives were only involved in breaking the anchor chain, like it showed on the movie. That was the only thing they used explosives for. But
was the boat actually this important?
No, and that's the worst part. It gets so much worse, Tabor. This boat had nothing to do with U-boat supply chain. This boat was not some pivotal thing in any way, shape, or form. What this was a boat in a Spanish port that had, a view of what ships would be passing through that part of the Atlantic. And the Allies suspected there was a radio on board the boat. Because, why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, the Nazis have a boat strategically placed in neutral waters. And it has a radio on it, probably. So they can probably radio about Allied movements in this part of the ocean. So we should just get rid of the boat. It was about stealing the boat because it had a radio on it. That was the entirety of it. And these guys were not renegades. They didn't have to get Gus March Phillips out of prison. You know what I mean? These were just normal, rank and file military dudes. Yeah. They were, special ops kind of guys, but they were all, active duty military at the time. And this was just, a special operation where they had to sneakily sail this boat out of the port. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how are they going to make a sequel out of it? But now I know how.
Right.
They'll just take another mission and movie it up a little bit.
Totally. What did you think of Winston Churchill?
Oh, dude, I had a thought where I was like, if Philip Seymour Hoffman had played Winston Churchill before he died.
Oh, dude.
Right.
That could have been incredible.
Right. But yeah, I wasn't that. It was okay.
Yeah.
I never watched Darkest Hour, but the trailers of Darkest Hour seemed a little more better.
Totally. Agreed. I like how much this guy looked like Winston Churchill, but it definitely it seems like a street impersonator. It seems like you're like in front of the Chinese theater in Hollywood, and this guy's dressed like Winston Churchill.
Yeah,
and
getting
the voice,
all the pictures.
Exactly. The like voice and mannerisms he put on, they just felt put on. Unfortunately, they were like similar to Winston Churchill, but just didn't seem natural.
Yeah. So what about the two people on the island? Did they have a big part in it?
Oh, so get this. The guy that was like a casino proprietor or whatever.
Yeah, working with the government.
Yeah. So the true guy that he was like inspired by was he was an operative who went to that port and got a job as like a mechanic or something. So that's how he was stationed on the island. He didn't own any businesses. He just like got a job and lived in the community for like 3 or 4 months or something like that.
Okay.
And then he did throw a party and invite like
all the
like
peeps.
6 Nazi dudes and like a couple of Spanish guys. But it was like there were very few people of concern in the port, and
it wasn't that important of a boat, then I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and this guy, he just like he noted that like, oh, the Nazi dudes, they take locals up on party invites. Like anyone who invites them to a party in town, they go. He's like, so I'll just throw a party, and yeah, so he just like invited these Nazi mechanics he worked with.
They love his parties, bro. They love his parties.
People love my parties.
Yeah.
Except what's his name?
I can't remember. The
Mr.
main bad.
Nazi.
Yeah. Captain Nazi.
Captain Nazi.
Yo, fuck that guy, bro. Yeah. I thought their dynamic was also pretty good. I liked that whole siege. Dude, honestly, I was going to say Lassen and Peter are probably standouts for both of me in these movies.
I think so. For me too. Yeah. Really, really fun.
Lassen, like, in every time he's just like, he tears that dude's heart out.
Yeah.
He just rips the dude's heart out.
Yeah.
That's how we know him. Yeah.
And in any other situation, you would judge that person a psychopath. But, like, you're like, oh, well, his brother was tortured and killed by Nazis. Like, of course he's messed up. Like, yeah, it's healthy for him to do this.
Right. Media is definitely dehumanized. I'm not going to defend Nazis. Fuck them.
But no, I get you.
Because in Inglourious Bastards, they sell Nazi scalps.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so they're scalping Nazis. Or they don't sell them, but they collect them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
Right? And to any other person, that would be like a horrifying thing to do. And
seriously.
But to Nazis, you know, they deserve it.
Dude, oh my gosh. Nazis, this is going to be a terrible comparison, but it made a lot of sense to me in the moment that I thought of it. Like in my brain, this made perfect sense, so I apologize for how stupid this sounds.
Okay.
But Nazis are the putties. You remember the putties from Power Rangers?
Right. They
They're
don't
just
matter.
The infinite, meaningless, like, all like perfectly cloned, stupid, dummy fodder that got thrown into the battle. And
exactly.
Yeah, and you just feel nothing for them because they're heartless, soulless creatures of clay. There are millions of them, and Power Rangers just bash them up left and right.
Yeah, fucking murder them, stab them in the nuts.
Yeah, and Nazis have become every bit as emotionally expendable to us in media. Putties.
That's pretty deep, man. You got it. I think you figured it out.
How do we rehumanize Nazis?
No, fuck Nazis.
It's a bad joke.
Dude.
Sorry. Feel free to cut that out.
We'll see how it plays.
Okay.
Yeah, this movie... Again, so this one's probably the least violent, which is
strange.
Yeah, because this movie is very. It's got a lot of good explosions.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and just fun all the way through.
Everyone's putting on a charismatic performance of a lifetime, and you got all these guys, and they it's a very dudes movie.
Totally, yeah.
Dudes movie, and we're just two dudes talking about a dudes movie.
Amen. Speaking of dudes, going back to Lassen real quick, that actor Alan Ritchson, I've seen like a couple of scenes of Jack Reacher, and
is that the same guy?
Yeah, same guy. And I've only seen like little bits and pieces, but I remember thinking, ooh, this guy is not a leading actor. Like he seems a little weak, but seeing him do this movie, I wonder if it's just about placement. Like, I wonder if he could totally lead a movie and it be legitimate and
he could be the next Schwarzenegger.
Maybe, yeah. He probably just needs the right director. Jack Reacher there must just be something off in the workings there.
I was gonna say, he's a perfect side character in this.
Totally.
He does take up a lot of screen time, and I think he is.
And screen area.
Yep, exactly. but he's probably the one I thought would have died.
Yeah, huh?
Like, it's him and the kid who got shot. Like and Henry Golding. Is that his name? Pretty
Who's that?
The guy who blows shit up. Froggy.
Oh. Yeah, he seems like someone who would have died. Honestly, the Irish kid too. Actually, you know what? Everyone except March Phillips seems like they would have died.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if this were like a sad movie, everyone would be killed. Okay, I was right. Henry Golding. He's also Henry Golding. Gentleman.
Yeah, my sister pointed that out. I was like, oh my gosh, that is that guy. He was great.
Anything else? I like the Prince. The Prince was cool.
Oh, yeah. He was cool.
By the end, I was really confused on who was on what boat and who was doing what. And
same. Even after 2 viewings.
Yeah, I just kind of turned off my brain and watched them as they would cut between, like, oh, I killed this Nazi. Oh, I'm killing this guy in a slightly different way.
Yep. I'll tell you, one of my last thoughts I have is I like Alan Ritchson. I like him, especially after this movie. I'm liking him a lot. But I worry because...
Which one is that guy?
He's Lassen.
Okay.
If you look at his face, there's a certain look to the face of people who die of heart issues. He has that look. So, like, I like him, but I worry that we might lose him young, dude. Like, he might die at 50 or something.
Okay.
Heart just explode while bench pressing 500 pounds or something. Sorry to be morbid, but it was actually, like, weighing on me when watching that movie. I was like, oh.
Right. I'm sorry to laugh. It's just...
No, I'm sorry to say it in a light way.
Came out of left field a little bit.
Yeah. I'm like pre-morning.
You're pre.
That was terrible of me to say. I shouldn't say that.
What?
Because this is a dude, you know. It's a dude with a family and everything, and I say it because I literally am concerned about it, but also, what good is saying?
You want me to cut it out?
You do whatever you think is appropriate.
Sounds good. But now that we've talked about Lassen almost this entire time, I think this is probably No. I think this one I like the most. It's not as good as like Guy Ritchie's other movies, like The Gentleman, most recently. Yeah. But I'll give it 3 Gran Turismos.
Sick. I think I would say 2 Gran Turismos.
Fair.
Yeah.
And then on to, is there any way to transition? Do we got to transition?
Let's see.
Bill Skarsgård's not in this one.
Nope.
Violence-wise, it was closer to Abigail.
It's true.
I
got nothing.
Totalitarian regimes are bad. And in
Nice.
Boy Kills World, they have a Nazi-like totalitarian regime.
Yes. Called the Vanderkoys.
Mm-hmm. It's like a business and like a family kingdom thing.
Okay. I need you to do me a favor.
Okay.
Take me through the first 10 minutes of the movie, because I got there late.
Okay. So
I got there when Charlton Copley was walking up with the bullhorn to like give his speech, and he kept getting pissed about how the speech sucked and the owls and all that. So that was where I walked in.
You pretty much saw everything after, because it's just like little boy sees his mother and his sister get shot, and then he's getting smoked out by that shaman, and then it kind of has like a training montage.
Okay.
And he gets better. We learn about the voice thing, but if you saw the trailer, you already know about the voice thing.
Yeah.
And then the training montage isn't that great. Because normally in a training montage, you would see like a thing they do and they're not doing it very good.
Yeah.
Then you see another thing that they're doing, they're not doing it very good. And then eventually you see them do better at those things, and then even better and better. And this, it seemed like that stuff just kind of didn't matter. And then it was Bill Skarsgård instead of a little boy.
Okay.
And then that girl that gets the her thing signed. If you remember her.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, she was a fan of the Vanderkoys. Small little detail. That's all I remember. So basically, you saw, because they replay that stuff like throughout the entirety of the movie, so you never really get to forget. And then by the end of the movie, it doesn't matter because none of it's real. Spoilers: none of it's real. This movie's fake.
What? I also missed the last 10 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Shoot!
Yeah.
Again, this movie is very, very violent.
Mm-hmm.
Is this? Did I already say if Abigail's more violent? I think in Abigail it's silly violence. Somewhat. It's like it's all played for a laugh.
Yeah.
In Ungentlemanly, it's like nothing. Like the violence doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And in this one, it has weight and purpose, but it's still just silly.
Yeah. And I think they liked like clean, good light on the butchery in this one, whereas in Abigail everything's dimly lit. It's like in this mansion, it's like the horror aesthetic. But in this one, it's like, you see people's like bones popping out and flesh tearing, and it's all like perfectly well lit, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's a little nasty. We watched that dude's head get fucking smashed in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's the second movie that guy's face has been obliterated in.
What's the other one?
Elysium with Matt Damon. He takes a grenade straight to the face in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that guy's face, apparently.
Yeah.
So, this movie. What to say about Boy Kills World?
How did you think that the training montage you mentioned, how did you think it stacked up against the Monkey Man training montage that we also sort of had issues with?
I just didn't think it was all right. It just too. I don't like. I think very voiceovered and the frantic editing that this movie has. I think because I did kind of say frantic editing in Monkey Man too, but I think that is so much better than what this is to me. Because this, like, it's always cutting back to the drugs and the memories, and it's like it's all over the place, and the voiceover, it like got to me sometimes. Like, I really didn't need it.
Mm-hmm. You didn't need Bob from Bob's Burgers telling you everything that's going on?
No, I didn't. I like that guy's voice. He's a great voice actor, but it was very over-explainy, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It also feels like a comic book. I don't know if it is, but it probably is. Like a graphic novel.
Totally. I found myself thinking during the scene after he first like sneaks into, he gets out of the trunk and he's like slinking around the compound, and he first engages with a couple of guys. Like, they went to that like video game third person perspective a number of times, and just had his like stunt guy just out there doing crazy crap, looking like a spider. And I kept thinking, like, this, like, the whole style of this movie would make a great video game. If they did a video game tie-in, that would be amazing, I think. And then I also found myself thinking that whoever made this needs to be, like, the person they hire to make video game adaptations, since those fail so frequently. Like, someone who makes movies that are just like a video game anyway would do a better job of adapting a video game, I think.
If this was a video game tie-in, it would be really good.
Yeah.
I mean, not that, you know, many video game movies are good.
Right.
In the first place. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of, I don't know. What did you think of this movie?
I liked it. I think maybe I like it more right now than right when it finished. Okay. I think there, like, some things that I kind of didn't like were more present for me, like, right after I watched it. But right now, those are, like, less concerning to me. Like, at first I did not love that the shaman, like, that it had to come down to, like, choosing between his sister and the shaman, when it's just like, yeah, the shaman did some bad stuff, but definitely, like, the less of two evils between him and Hilda. So, like, Hilda's dead, why can't we all just be happy, you know?
Yeah.
But, and so I didn't like that they had to
choose.
And that he had to fight him.
Right, like, the shaman at that point, it was like, she was a little girl when it happened too. So it's like, just let him go, bro. Why does it have this crazy? I mean, it's a good fight. Like,
it was very good.
I'm glad we got it, but I also, the reveal is just so infuriating, because it's like the thing we talked about in Abigail, where the transformation made the movie feel longer than it needed to be. The reveal in this movie, I was like, oh, okay, so now I have an extra 30 minutes to go through whatever this was.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm the opposite, where I think I had fun in there, but now that I'm thinking about it too much, I'm less down.
Okay. Yeah. That's fair. That is fair. When I really stop and think about it, the shaman did some terrible things.
Like, and completely rewire a little boy to forget that he has a family.
Yeah. Brainwash a little kid who, like, the best thing, like, he already ran away from his family. The best thing to do would be to give him some food and a place to sleep instead of deciding to turn him into an atomic bomb for your own use, you know.
I mean, his family sucked, so I'm glad that they were able to get out of that. But
right,
like the whole, I don't know, go on. Sorry.
No, pretty much just that. It's like I understand like why the shaman would feel nothing for this kid and do anything to use him in this plan, but it's also pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm. Get revenge.
Yeah,
and it worked. He got the mother killed.
Mm-hmm.
He got all the family members killed. I was kind of hoping by the end the brother wouldn't be killed. Because, I don't know, you see, like, we didn't really see him when he was a complete monster. We only saw him as, like, a washed up man just trying to trace his writing career.
Yeah. Yeah, true that. Yeah, I think I felt little enough for him when he died that that it was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like we never saw him being as terrible as everyone else, so it was maybe less necessary.
Mm-hmm. I think the design of the sister was really cool. The yellow outfit and then the screen that told you what she was saying sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kept thinking about. Sorry, I'm going to eat this. You keep talking.
Okay. He kept thinking about how dope she looked.
Mm-hmm.
And also how much he loved the mother as a character and agreed with all of her views. And thought that her parenting was the correct way to go about things.
I mean, that's how I was raised, and there's nothing wrong with me. I kept thinking about Neuralink because they just had patient number 1 or whatever, you know, like a couple months ago. And from time to time, you get little updates of how this guy is using his Neuralink implant and interfacing with video games and computer systems and stuff. And I was thinking, you know what? Like, this is actually a really cool technology idea. Like, it'd probably be most functional in places where you had to be quiet for tactical reasons or whatever.
Have a big, giant screen on your face that says, I'm right here.
Whatever you're thinking. Yeah, you just think it and it pops up. Or you think an emotion and it pops up with an emoji or what. Like, I thought that was just real fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed her. I did like the design of some of the things, like the things that they really thought out. But then there's parts of the world that's just kind of like oh, that's a dark alley, that's a trashed apartment.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
The backgrounds of the cities were interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like those.
Okay, and then I think I had a problem with the fight scenes in this, or I guess some of the fighting. So when they're doing all the like the pa pa pa, you know, the da da da, and then it feels like it's really coolly styled, but I almost lose track of where everything is. Like, it's not very readable.
I think that the biggest problem with that was, unless my projector in my theater room was, or like in the theater I went to, unless mine was just like abnormally dim, I think the lighting in the scenes was not great. And it was weird because like you could see the colors and stuff, so you thought you could see everything, but when it really came down to it, like the motions and like any dark objects in view, like against a shadow, stuff kind of got lost. And so I think a lot of the action scenes were hard for me to follow, specifically because I couldn't always make out the details because it was just dark.
Yeah, and I feel like the camera was also just moving around, and and it didn't seem like there was a lot of. Maybe it felt like there was some continuity issues for me.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like they kept track of things really well in the final fight with the shaman. Do you think that one was different, or?
Yes. At least I liked it enough that it wasn't as big of a distractor.
Okay.
That just all-out brawl in the snow with the cereal mascots. That felt too Power Ranger-y.
Yeah. Very true. Got an ad playing behind me now.
That's our sponsor, Thai.
30 more seconds before I can skip the ad.
Cat chow.
This would be a fun way to do paid partnerships.
Yep. Just have them play on YouTube in the background.
Oh, man.
Oh, now I want to go to Taco Bell. It's getting me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not even Taco Bell.
Oh, no?
It is. It's
Del
still
Taco.
Fuck. Taco Bell advertisements work so much that I saw a Del Taco ad.
And you thought Taco Bell.
Skip it.
That's a good... Oh, I clicked skip. What the hell?
You just wanted to watch all of them.
Oh. That's a good point, though, dude, because that very much did ring like a Taco Bell commercial. So Taco Bell has done something right.
It's in your brain, bro. It's like a fucking demon. Yeah, what do you think of the reveal? I agree. Charlie Brown's parents. I agree.
You tell me what you thought of it, and I'll eat.
I just thought it wasn't good. It just... I don't know. Like, that's where I thought it seemed like something that would happen in a graphic novel. Like, I looked it up, and I don't think there is a graphic novel based off this.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry that this was based off anything other than just screenplay.
Yeah. Okay.
But it felt, I don't know. It just did it took me out of it. I was like, and then all of the memories are fake.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
I think I did not mind the reveal. Okay. I think I really liked the idea that, oh, this is what the truth is, that he was basically kidnapped and brainwashed. Mm-hmm. I liked the idea of the switcheroo, but as far as the execution goes, I just kind of felt indifferent about it. I felt like most of it was excusable or passable, and in terms of the false memories and stuff. I felt like I didn't really want much explanation for that, because I think of some false memories I've created and later have learned are false, and I'm like, since I know how that happens, you just have enough context or enough input, and you can create something that you believe. I just kind of chalk it up to that. I'm like, yeah, it works. You don't have to tell me anything else. I didn't like Famke Janssen's acting in that. Well, I'll be honest, I don't much like her at all. And in this movie, she was definitely nothing special. And her being the one to reveal it in the way that she did, I think that was maybe disappointing for me. But the flashbacks and stuff, I didn't mind. Okay.
I thought it was too... Again, the editing in this felt really sporadic, especially in those moments. I understood what was happening, but it's just constantly switching back from a dude blowing smoke into my face, and then all of a sudden I'm watching my sister die again, and then and then that image of his sister hung in the tree.
Oh yeah,
that was crazy. There's
That was.
no way that you can convince me that you made a kid think that up.
You're right. That's different. I was thinking of like them busting into the house and like shooting the fake mom. Like that's all stuff that, that's how you would imagine it if someone told you that your parent was executed. But like, yeah, you're right. That part, like, he doesn't have a memory of hanging in a tree. So what? Or like he doesn't have context to create that.
Yeah, he
that's
was
a
literally
weird false
in
memory.
the tree choking, dying.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And then he got saved. Like, how does that all...
Yeah.
Just by getting high? I mean...
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know what
one,
they were smoking.
No sale.
Now, not that it needs to make sense to make it any better. Or to make it, like, things don't need to make sense in a movie for it to be good or not. It just...
Sure.
For me, it brought me out of it. And then I realized how much more of a movie we have to go through, and this was before, and I was also just like taken aback, like, how does this reach out of the pit that we're now written into?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I did like that the brother and the sister were reunited. Like, I don't know if I liked how we got there, but I did like that they were able to escape, or presumably escape.
Yeah, that was nice. I think my ideal version of this story, execution aside, but like story, would have included the twist origin thing.
Okay.
But would not have, and would have included them being able to be together again. And would have included some really badass fight with the shaman at the end of the movie.
Okay.
But that fight would not have been between the shaman and the brother and sister. Because I just don't see a need. Like you said, the mission is accomplished. And like the girl is essentially reformed. Like she's the one who dealt the killing blow. So there's really no need to do anything else. So I wish they just wouldn't have been pitted against each other.
Yeah. Get like another badass dude in this falling down agency. Yeah, because the only badass that they brought up was the sister.
Yeah. Yep.
So they had to have that fight between them, or if you wanted to ever show off that guy's skills.
Right.
Is that guy?
I was trying to remember who he was because he's very familiar.
I want to make sure I'm right before I just say shit. Fuck,
you were going to say Tony Jaa, weren't you?
No, not at all. What is... Dude, he's not even, like, up there on the list of people in this movie.
Oh, weird.
When you're looking at the Wikipedia.
Let's see.
I just want to make sure I'm right.
Yayan Ruyan?
Right. Okay, he's in The Raid.
The Raid.
Did you ever watch The Raid?
I don't think I know that one.
It's an Indonesian action movie.
That's cool. I could have guessed this guy was Indonesian.
He was also in John Wick 3.
Oh, okay.
They fight in the glass room before. It was like him and another dude.
Nice.
Before the final fight.
Okay, cool.
You should watch The Raid, though.
Okay. I will do that.
They're like some of the best action. And
nice.
They have this like really cool fight at the end where it's this dude versus two other dudes, and it goes on for like I feel like 10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, bro.
That's fun.
Boy Kills World. What else you got? What else?
Okay. Bill Skarsgård, I don't know how much of the choreography he performed himself. Like, it's hard to know what he did and what he didn't. But if he did any amount of it, then like, I think I really like the potential he has for that kind of like just that like spider like
do you think this
activity,
movie makes you excited for him in The Crow?
It does.
Okay.
It does. Yep. So I think fully approved as an action guy for me now. And I'd like to see more hand-to-hand martial arts stuff with him, because that, like, again, just very spidery, dynamic style, like going low, going high,
Mm-hmm.
Just thought that was so fun. And mostly I think we got those types of movements when it was the back of his head, so probably a double, but yeah, that was fun choreography.
What do you think of the voice?
I was indifferent.
Okay.
It was just humorous enough, just often enough.
Just got a little on my nerves. I like the part where he was talking to the ghost sister in that voice.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't a drag the whole time, but there's some of the times when it was talking too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely did that. I think I liked when there were a couple of situations where I maybe didn't quite know what was going on until the voice said something. Mm-hmm. And in those couple of situations, I was glad that he spoke too much. But yeah, for the most part, I think you're right. It was a lot.
Yeah, I did like the part where he's talking to I can't remember.
Basho,
but the other guy.
Yeah. I don't remember his name.
He's just speaking gibberish, and then that's how how we see the scenes is through his gibberish.
That was way fun.
Yeah. And that whole like part where it was like he didn't know the plan, but the plan went according to plan. Like, that was pretty funny. It's a funny movie.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I would say 7 out of Gran Turismo for me.
Okay. I'm going to go 8 out of Gran Turismo.
Okay. Anything else you got in your shot? I watched The Fall Guy.
Oh, dude, I did too. Because I went to see Boy Kills World last night, but the showtime that Google had listed was a lie. So I wound up watching that one. Yeah, what did you think?
Okay, well, Fall Guy was pretty good. I liked Ryan Gosling. Crap, now we have to do a whole Fall Guy thing.
I guess so.
What do you got for me?
Yeah, super fun all the way through. Reminded me in a lot of ways of The Nice Guys. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Ryan Gosling seems to be a perfectly understood individual. Like, everything he is cast in is so suited to what and how he is that, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like, dude, maybe, I don't know, maybe his agent is like the perfect screen. You know what I mean? Like, maybe he's so good at knowing what will and won't play for Ryan Gosling that those are the only things they entertain. Like, maybe that's what it is. Because I swear everything he's in is just killer.
I agree. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, he's second favorite actor of all time right now. So
nice.
Maybe not. Anyways, in this, it's like he's been in a lot of very charismatic roles recently, like Barbie.
Right. Yeah.
And like compared to some of his like stuff when he was coming up, like in Drive, he really, you know.
Yeah, I never saw Drive. Is that something I should see?
I think you should. I like it.
Okay, cool.
I like this movie's like reverence for stunts.
Yeah.
And how the credits were a bunch of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, that was nice.
And they have that really big section for all the stuntmen.
Yeah. And like makes a lot of sense given who directed it and everything. That was a cool focus. I like that.
Yeah. I think I was expecting this to be a little more John Wicky. So when it took on that angle where the relationship was like a very prominent aspect, it took me a little well, it was just surprising, I guess, and like the violence was also not the same as like as the Nobody.
Yeah.
But after I got over that, I was having fun the whole way.
Good, yeah, that was nice. I will amend what I said about Ryan Gosling movies in one instance. The Gray Man on Netflix.
Hated it.
So bad.
Worst movie.
Yeah. It was so funny because it was like, it was more than anything confusing because you're like, wait, do the Russo brothers actually know how to make a movie or not? Like, how did they fool me for so many years?
Yeah.
Like, it was weirdly bad.
Maybe it was Kevin Feige that made those Marvel movies good.
Maybe.
But yeah. Gray Man sucks. I was so bored.
Yeah.
But the Fall Guy was very, very cool. The fact that they did that truck stuff, like semi-practically, well, pretty practically, was really cool.
Yeah, totally. That was really great.
And yeah, the more emotional stuff, like the way that they cut the all that truck stuff with him being late for karaoke, and then the producers being a fucking asshole. Yeah. You don't realize why until a little bit later, unless you know.
Right. No, yeah. That was well executed. Yeah. And
then, like, I don't know. One more thing. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's great. But there's a moment when she gives him the gun and says to shoot him. And then he's like, "Oh, but he's the best stunt actor I've ever worked with."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Maybe more so than Ryan Gosling. And maybe the only person more so than Ryan Gosling. Aaron Taylor Johnson seems to be someone who never misses a mark. Like that guy.
Movie-wise? I
would say delivery-wise.
Oh, okay.
Everything he says lands for me. Everything he does, I don't know. He's so character-y while being someone who he could be Tom Cruise. He could refuse to do anything where he wasn't just fully taken seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I was going to say he's one of the best parts about Bullet Train.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, he's great.
And for this being the same director, Bullet Train felt like it dragged a lot for me. Like it was just a little too long.
Okay.
This movie felt great.
Okay. David Leitch did Bullet Train?
I'm pretty sure.
I did not know that.
Bullet Train. I'm on like a time limit because my headset's going to die. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Moment. No, I mean, I'll just unplug it so it'll sound a little worse.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Two great movies. I'd agree though. I think pretty much everything after the Russian guy, the fight with him on the train, pretty much everything after that, like with the train derailing and all, like I kind of didn't need all of that.
Yeah. And also Bad Baby. I feel like we should have got more of him in the Wolf.
Oh, he's like a rapper or something.
Yeah, he's a Spanish music artist.
Okay. Yeah. Someone.
I've never listened.
Someone had to explain to me who Bad Bunny. That's
Bad
what it is,
Bunny,
right?
No, Bad Baby,
it sounded
bro.
different when.
See, I don't even know.
When someone else told me. Yeah.
I just know that guy. I liked him in the movie. I wish he was there longer.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, the Fall Guy. I just wasn't prepared. Now that we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything?
Same. I didn't really prepare to talk about it, but yeah, I mean, I've got nothing bad to say. I'll say that.
Yeah, all the stuff where so that one I showed up a little late too because we always expect the trailers to be like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So we showed up a little late thinking we were fine, and I walked in at the title scene. So I don't really know what happened before that.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I assume it was like he was working on a movie, and then maybe he got in, and then he got injured.
Yeah. So what part was the title?
When he gets the job. He's
on
the phone with the producer, right. And then she...
Okay. Yeah, so what happens before that is he's, voiceovering how great his life is, and he's, like, on the set of this Tom Rider movie. And he's already been, Tom Rider's double for a while, and that's, like, a running thing for him. And Emily Blunt's character is a camera op, and he's worked on a number of sets with her before too, so they've struck up this ongoing thing, and you kind of just get little snippets of that, and he's like happy, just living the life. He's like in love with this girl and figuring out how to move that forward and seeing her at work and stuff, and he has to deal with Gail the producer and Tom the action star, and it's annoying, but he's like, I get paid. It's a pretty great gig. And then in the middle of all the voiceover, a PA tells him that Tom and Gail want to talk to him, and they're over there looking at the monitor, and so he goes over there, and Tom's like, no, we see too much of your face. Can you like do it backwards or whatever? And so he wants him to like retake a stunt. And so he just keeps chopping it up with Emily Blunt like over a radio while he's slowly in like a one shot, slowly making his way, up an elevator and stuff up to this stunt setup. They strap him in and then kind of suspend him out over the fall area, and it just sets it up. They click the button, it shows him falling, and then it cuts to black, and you just hear people screaming. And and then the next thing is they're rolling him on a gurney out to an ambulance. And so it's kind of gnarly, but then later, obviously, it's a real good opening, actually. Yeah. And then later, you learn that Tom Rider like made that happen because he's a prick.
Fucking dickhead. This movie was good.
Yeah, it was.
The car roll.
Oh yeah, dude.
Him jumping into the car. He's like they really play with that a lot. Yeah. What do you got? What else?
Let's just hope that never mind. Forget what I was gonna say. How that was so freaking funny when Ryan Gosling was like telling Aaron Taylor Johnson, he's like, and dude, you gotta eat some carbs. They're necessary for basic cognitive function. Your brain lives on carbs. That's too funny. As he's sitting there just like walking around with his like robe like halfway undone and just like paper thin skin and nothing but muscles
abs on abs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do wonder if this will turn into a thing or if it'll just be this. I think I'd watch another one.
I would too. And dude, I didn't know until watching the movie and like seeing in the credits that this was based on a TV series.
Oh, it is?
This was a TV series in the 80s. So it's like, it's like any of those old TV series that Mission Impossible, Miami Vice, like any of those, Get Smart. It's just another one of those.
Huh. That's crazy.
Oh, but I looked up the description of the series, and in that, I guess the idea is the main characters are these 3 stuntmen, Hollywood stuntmen, who moonlight as bounty hunters. So it's like, in this one, he kind of accidentally ends up going on a manhunt. So it's probably not exactly the same, but
the sequel will lean into the bounty hunting. I bet this is like a prequel.
Yeah, exactly. We'll totally could do dudes.
That. We'll get Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, that would be a fantastic team.
I think this is probably like 10 Gran Turismos.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I've rated anything that high. How's about? I think I'm comfortable saying 5 Gran Turismos.
Yeah. We got it. For a random sneak up review, we got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny that we both saw that.
So next week, that opens us up that we can just only do Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes and all the sequels. It's all on
Nice.
Hulu.
Okay, cool. That sounds great.
Sweet.
Also, real quick review of The Fault in Our Stars.
Okay.
It doesn't suck.
Okay.
Even if you think it will.
Nice.
I just watched that last night and it ended up being like really, really good.
Did you cry?
I didn't, but I could have. Like I was moved for sure.
Like you were on the edge, and did you hold him back?
Yeah.
Or?
No, I didn't fight it. I just it just didn't quite push me there. Okay. But it had the ability to, for sure.
The inkling.
Yeah, and I might be the only person in the world who was like holding off on that movie and thought it would be lame.
I mean,
so maybe I'm speaking to no one, but yeah, it was good.
Well, maybe I'll watch it, bro, and then you can watch The Raid.
Okay, that sounds good.
That sounds like a fair trade. I'll get something that makes me cry, and you'll get something that's just like, woo!
The Raid with Tony Jaa.
It's an Indonesian movie, but it's directed by a white guy, so it's a little weird.
Okay.
Anyways, thank you guys for joining the Cole and Flav podcast. Join us next time. Good night. Sick.
Nice.